Okay, family, I'm back here again, uh, back in the garden, going back to the garden part three. Last week, I put some compost down on the plants, and they've grown. And if you go back and look in the video, maybe you can tell as well that they've shot up a bit. So I'm happy about that. So I just have to keep that consistent. Once a week, give them some type of nutrition and compost. So yeah, we back here. Today, in part three, what we're going to do, the seedlings have grown up a bit, and it's about time to disfoliate them or cut off excess foliage, pruning. And the idea is that if you cut off excess foliage, the plant will be able to deliver more energy towards blossoming and giving tomatoes, to give fruit, to give vegetables. Oh, and who I got back here with me today? That's Blackie. He there. He getting so big. I gotta find a home for him. I love that boy. And that's his sister, Ma'at. Last week it was Rue, both their father, and then it was Sekhmet, both their mother. And so I got them out here today. Let them stretch their legs and stuff. If you don't get out my garden, you know better than that, Ma'at. Okay, and here we go. So today, what we're going to be doing again is pruning, and also uh, taking foliage from in between the elbows of the plant, and that's pruning. And then again, that gives the plant the opportunity to deliver more energy to producing fruit and vegetables. Oh man, I look like Danny Glover in the movie Color Purple at the end. I think he was like this stuff. And he was doing farming back then too. Can you dig it? Pick up on that now. And I remember seeing that movie in the 80s. I think I was about 14, 15 at the time. I went with my mother and my sister, and we were waiting to go in the movie. People were coming out of the movie crying. I mean, everybody. I was a 14 to 15, lived 14 to 15 years on the earth, went to movies all that time, and never ever seen that. And I mean, people was just coming out one after the other, bawling, yeah, yeah. And I was like, wow, okay, that's some interesting stuff right there I just experienced. And it blew me away. And sure enough, at the end of the movie, we came out too. You know, mama. Oh yeah, that was a powerful movie. And at the end, it really hit your heart and it made you just come out crying and stuff. So yeah. So again, I just want to show you what the plants look like now before I get to pruning them. And you see it's a lot of foliage on this particular one. This particular one is one that shot up really good. And it's like that sometimes. Some will shoot up, some won't. And then that's how it go. Some of the ones that don't shoot up come back later. It happens like that. And so if you look at the bottom, I'm going to clear out as much of that as I can to give some airflow, keep the plant healthy, and then again to take off a lot of the excess foliage that doesn't need to be in order to give the plant the opportunity to give all that energy to producing fruit, producing vegetables. I seen a video where they were doing this, and they had constructed a huge greenhouse, and they had the plants going straight up, the tomato plants, and it was really like no foliage there. And I was like, how's that? I'm thinking the foliage is like satellites receiving energy from the sun to help the plant. But so I gotta look back at that video again. Excellent video. If I get the opportunity, I'll send it out. So I learned a lot from it. One of the things I learned is it said don't prune at the top, prune at the bottom, in the middle maybe possibly, And I learned a lot from that. And then with those particular tomatoes, if I'm not mistaken, they were indeterminate. Indeterminate are the ones that go up and go straight up, and they last till frost. The determinate ones they're bushes mainly. So here we go, and got the raised bed over there. Maybe let's walk over there, and I'll just step over this garden because I'm tall. And by the way, this is coming to you live and direct from Sacramento, California, where the weather is superb all the time. This is like a big old greenhouse. That's why the state, I'm believing and thinking, is so valuable, considered valuable. And yeah, this is the mecca. Other brothers and sisters from different parts of the world can come here and grow all the food that they grow back home right here because this weather is so beautiful. This is a coveted state, man. And yeah, I've been wanting to move though. It's out of here. It's kind of a cold piece at times, because it's so valuable. It's just competition and cutthroat. So the raised bed, I've got peas coming up. I planted them joints a week ago, less than that. This one's doing good. And what I plan on doing is having it come up like it is. And you see there's a stake there. And I tried to plant peas at all four corners. And so that's my vision at this point right now with that. My creativeness in the garden. And then, by the way, I have a poem on YouTube as well called Going Back to the Garden. And if you guys want to check that out, I'm doing poetry on the garden, man. And so there's one there that's coming up real strong. I believe I have one here as well. And I got to get this little weed about it. I just get on up. And it's some weeds you can eat. But this is only one of them, I think. So, we don't know that. There are some weeds that you could actually eat. And so, let's see. I got a pea there. There it is. All right now. Looking good. Keep going. We're going to do this thing. And then, went to the far right. Let's go on over there. Check her out, too. Because she's doing what she's supposed to do. And I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, get her the water. The sun is free for now. And that's her right there. Hold on, let me hold. And then, that's her right there. And so I planted one here too, and it has not come up. And so, I have to deal with that. I also planted some bell peppers in this joint somewhere, but I'm at, please. My. And y'all know better than that. I'm right here. I could see if I was in the house somewhere and not watching y'all. But I'm right here. You gonna do that right when I'm right here? The disrespect. The insolence. Anywho. Yeah. And so another thing I want to put, the strawberries. Oh, yep. They're getting big and they're coming about. Got one right there. And so I can't remember if I put compost on that the last time, but they're looking good. This bed I made, and I went to the ocean and I put seaweed. I got seaweed from San Francisco at the beach, and I was looking around too. I was like, is this illegal? I don't know. I had the nieces and the nephews with me. I had a truck full of babies. I had about 3 buckets. They was out in the water and swimming, and at some point I had to tell them, hey, stop going so far out. That's all I need is to come back without one of y'all. Stay close over here. Don't do this no more. And then after that, I go looking on the ocean. Looking on the beach. The ocean. Ocean is so beautiful and peaceful. I swear I love it. You can smell it when you're approaching it. And so I was looking around, got seaweed, and I put it in these buckets. There's one. And I let it sit in there about a month or so with water. First, I washed them off because, from what I understand, you got to wash off all that salt and everything. And I put it in there, and I let it soak. And then I just bottled it up, and I put some of the seaweed in this raised bed. Now, I put some cantaloupe and I think some watermelons, and it didn't seem like they did too good. And from uh, uh, I don't know why I did that, so I just got to figure it out. And that's the love and the learning of doing this. You make mistakes and you figure it out. Crazy enough, I had a poke green pop up right in the front there, and I didn't know what it was. I thought it was something from the ocean, part of the seaweed, because I had never seen that plant. But then I looked at my neighbors; they had some poke plants. I said that must have drifted over here somehow and set itself there. But you can eat poke plants, poke greens. But you got to go through a lot of work. You got to boil them and all that other stuff. Let me see, can I make a muscle? All right, and so yeah. And so right now, this race base doesn't look too aesthetic, and I'll get it together. I'll just let, again, things fall where they fell. And so I plan on straightening it up and making it more aesthetic. But yeah, I put that in there. But the collard greens, they thrived off of it. They thrived off of it, the seaweed compost. And I bottled it up. I still haven't used any of it yet. I will. And so, yeah. Now let's see. I think that will be concluding part 3 of going back to the garden. I'm going to the garden, going to the garden, yeah. You gonna sing with me? My aunt, or you just barking at someone? I'm going to the garden to be as one. So that's an old church song. I grew up in church, Church of God in Christ, Kojic. And that was one of the songs. I always loved solos. I'd be like, oh, sweetie, finna get up and sing a solo. Because I really didn't like going to church other than to hear the music at that time when I was a child. I remember my stepdad, he would never go to church. And I'm like, why? I gotta go and he ain't got to go. Get in the car. And so that's what I had. Grandfathers, they were pastors on both sides. My mama's people's, my daddy people, stepdaddy people. He raised me though. That was my real daddy. He raised me from 3, 4. So that was my daddy. And so, yeah. And so, but the real name of the song is I'm going up the yonder to be with my Lord. I'm going or is it going to the yonder? Or going up the yonder to be with my Lord, oh Lord. Yeah, and so I just changed words. And I don't think I hopefully didn't do no harm. I'm talking about something good, garden, something that's good for us. Yeah, I think the Most High be looking down, smiling, saying that's very creative, boy. How you did that. You got a creative spirit, boy. Keep going. Yeah, man. So we back here at the garden again to recap part 3. You've seen the plants grow a bit from the compost, and now what we're going to do is clean them up so that in the next video that I'll show you, I'll show how all the bottoms, and look at them now, they got a lot of foliage and stuff around. Oh, I'm finna get them a haircut. I'm finna get them, and you see, every time I go low, that's what dogs do. When you go low, they say, oh, you in my area now, I'm finna accost you. Just walk up on you. That's what they do. But I love them, they good. And you can learn from dogs, they nature too. Yes, okay. So, I'm going to clear out all that foliage and greenery under there and give it more breathable space and to allow more energy to go to not the leaves and the foliage, but to the fruits and the tomatoes. Last year I talked about how frost came, froze up my plants, and I went and turned around and got some more. But then they did not, they flowered a bit, but then the flowering dropped off, and I looked up a flower rot or something, and it could be many things. And it was a disappointment. I didn't get no fried green tomatoes last year, y'all. Oh, man. Oh, geez. Man, I didn't get none, and that hurt. Because I love them things. I love them. And so I'm hoping this year I'm on pins and needles with a lot of anxiety. I'm hoping they do good. So I just have to figure it out. Maybe the soil too rich, something. I don't know. Something, something just ain't right. Keith Sweat. I think I missed a step in that. But yeah. And so I've got to do some weeding before I get on out here. You can see that. And so no weeds can be in here. I know you can eat some weeds. These ain't the ones, and I haven't looked them up, but they got to go. They in the way. And then they can get in the way of the plant thriving. So I got some work to do. Oh, I got work to do. I got a job, baby. The Isley Brothers. I think the sister Vanessa Williams did that too. She did a cover, and that was tight too. Gone, sister Vanessa Williams. You know, they tried to do you wrong back in the day. You still came away looking big for the big payday. Gone, sis. And then so yeah, check that out. We back in the garden. Everyone have a good rest of your evening. Get something good to eat. One people, one mind, one love, one nation, one.